Sleep. Test 1, 2. That's loud.
Could you guys hear me okay?
Yep. Yeah.
Okay.
My friend agenda. I do. Yeah, if you got one, please. Cold up there? I got my long sleeve shirt on, so. Morning. How are you? No. Yeah. Oh, hey, thank you. Thanks, Corey. Okay. Okay, it's 8:30. I'd like to call this meeting to order. Well, the motion to approve the agenda, but before we even do that, I'd like to ask the question, is this a legal meeting and then it hasn't been 24 hours?
I checked last night.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure that was checked on. Okay. All right, then I have approved, a motion to approve the agenda. So move. I'll second. Second, sorry. All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
But like stand, the pledge allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. Public comments, I guess at this time. Is there any public comments this time? If not, then was that you, Alan, or was that public?
Oh, no, that was just my mouse. Sorry.
Okay, if not, then I guess we'll proceed on to this administrative recount. Yeah.
Good morning. Long day yesterday. So I sent out a press release last night, but, and I'll kind of just read this. Due to the circumstances that happened yesterday by the recount procedures, it does ask that we convene a board meeting, and then I basically provide a letter to the Board of
Hold on one
Supervisors.
second, Melissa. Can you turn it up?
Oh,
Louder? Try again.
I just said,
You hear that, Rod?
can you hear that okay? Okay, I just said, basically due to some issues with some of the voting equipment yesterday, during the day, we became aware of some issues. And so with that, after we'd been made aware of other counties having issues, we then saw some issues ourselves later as the day proceeded on. And so with that, after talking to the Secretary of State's office and following the code and the recount procedures, I had to ask you guys to come in basically to present the letter to you asking for notifying you of the administrative that I, as Commissioner of Elections, is asking for the administrative recount. And basically what this is, and I'll provide you guys the letter and then I'll read it as well. Here. That's very good. And so basically this just says, Board of Supervisors of the Page County Auditor's Office, we are committed to making sure that every eligible voter has the opportunity to vote and that their vote will count. Even though each machine was tested thoroughly prior to the election day, we have been made aware that there were technical issues with the voting machines in multiple counties on election day. We were in contact with the Secretary of State's office throughout the day yesterday, discussing the issue regarding the unison voting equipment. There were multiple instances of machines experiencing paper jams when voters were inserting their ballot into the tabulator. And this caused the number on the tabulator to increase and lead to the appearance that more ballots were cast than voters who signed a declaration of eligibility. Due to the fact our unison equipment is older, our elections equipment vendor Atkins has made us aware that this issue was caused by the older motherboards and the equipment. At the end of the night, 7 precincts noted that the ballots cast were different by 1 vote signed, one of the signed declaration of eligibility slips. This included Clarinda 1, Clarinda 2, Courthouse 1, Courthouse 2, Essex, Shenandoah 3, and Shenandoah Fire. And due to recount procedures, if we ever feel the machine malfunctions under that administrative recount, then it does state that in good faith, as Commissioner of Elections, we should ask to recount all the ballots to ensure that every voter ballot has been counted properly. So basically, at the end of the night, this equates out to 7 precincts with it showing 1 vote, 1 ballot cast more than eligibility slips.
1 in each precinct, so 7 ballots total. Or...
Yes. So for races that there was a significant margin, thank you, margin. This really won't be an issue, but potentially in any federal race or state race or local race where it's a close race, this could impact that. So.
It wasn't Dykstra and Wood about 90 votes.
Yes. So I just try to get ahead of this so we can start on the recount procedure, because if we can get this taken care of before we canvass, it just makes the process smoother.
So we just bought some additional election equipment. So old motherboard, so we
haven't purchased the all new election equipment.
Okay.
Yeah. So we were waiting for the certifications to go through.
But they had no failure in their test runs? They didn't
No,
fail.
and actually I laid awake about 3/4 of the night last night, and we test our equipment, we test and retest. The only thing we can't test for is the human factor. And so basically what potentially transpired was if somebody took a ballot up to the machine, either got a little overexcited about putting it through, if the light wasn't green and then they tried to push it through, it considered it a GM ballot and then kicked it back. But when it did, it potentially counted that ballot as going through. And so we don't know if the machine said it was a ballot, basically. So that's the issue there. So basically, over the period of the day, we had 7 instances of this. So potentially 7 ballots were.
Who conducts the recount?
It's our absentee board.
When will that?
We are hoping to get this started as soon as possible. We have this has potentially been a statewide issue with the Unison equipment. So I feel there will potentially be other auditors as well. We just tried to get ahead of the game last night because basically the sooner we get this on the agenda, we can start on the recount.
So you need a motion then from us to approve this process? I mean, you need to go through this process, don't you?
Right. I put it down as discuss to approve. I mean, it just says I have to make you aware of it with a letter. So, but if you guys want to go ahead and approve it, that's fine. I mean,
Okay.
anything at this point, we just need to move forward with this process. So
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second. Okay, on that. Any other discussion? I'm trying to look at my notes here.
Well, we don't have public comment at this point. I can't hear you, Ron.
Okay, let's look at this. One, I don't know about that. Can you make a?
and I don't know if I necessarily need a motion. I just have to make you guys aware of it.
Okay,
So
and here's the thing, the biggest thing, I guess, that maybe didn't have anything to do with this, but when this was last night announced, whatever, where I was, power was out and everything else, I didn't even see my email. If something like this happens, emergency meeting, I'd appreciate a phone call or
I
something.
did give you a phone call last night and left you a voice message.
I never got that yet, so, okay, thank you for doing that thing, because
Yeah.
I just thought, oh, I could have missed that thing this morning.
Right.
So, okay.
Yep, no, I called every supervisor
Okay, good.
and
I
either
just-
if I could reach you, I did, and if not, I left you a voicemail,
Okay.
which
well,
it was
that's
right
fine.
after 10 o'clock when I called you.
Okay, thank you for that. I didn't catch that, so, okay, I was afraid I was gonna miss this morning. I guess, we've had motion and second, but we need to, vote on this. So we're 7 votes difference, right?
Yes. As of what this is showing from this shows ballots cast, which I can give you.
Where are the ballots right now? Are they in a vault or where are the ballots?
Yeah, they're sealed.
I'm getting a lot of phone calls asking me where the ballots are.
Yep, all the ballots are sealed and they're all taped and shut. And so when our absentee board comes in, they'll
Open them.
view those seals and move forward with that.
Okay. Oh, and that'll be published when that's gonna happen. People can watch if they wanna watch, whatever, probably,
I will have to check on that.
or at least a representative
This is-
party or something.
This is the
Did-
first time we've had an issue like
Did
this.
this happen in November? Was there any of these off counts
Mm-mm,
in the last election?
no.
Okay.
Yeah, actually, Lauren was one of our precinct election officials, so if you guys don't mind, that's.
And just to describe what happened, we had a young lady come in and vote, and we had some other people coming in behind her, and we only had 3 people, so we couldn't be at the machine all the time when they were putting the ballots in. But I usually tell people, keep pushing until it takes it out of your hand, watch for the green light, and then, well, she got in a little bit of a hurry, and she got it actually took her ballot in, but then she walked away. And I usually was kind of watching to make sure the light would turn green, so if I needed to run after somebody, I could. Well, I must have been busy doing something, and the next guy come up to put his ballot up, and I looked at the machine, and her ballot was sitting on top of the machine. So I went over, stuck her ballot in, it took it, read it, and we were 1 ballot off at that point. But when we ran our ticket after we closed up, we had an overcount vote on each race, which basically means that you sent an empty ballot through.
Right.
Is that right? If you have an undercount, that basically means that person didn't vote on that race. So we looked at it as that ballot counted, but the votes did not. It just counted the ballot,
Right.
kicked it back out, and then when we sent it through, it actually counted the votes. So I don't see that they're gonna change any of these. I'm thinking that it's probably the same thing that happened on the other side, because we were talking back and forth as to what was going on, but that was just what happened with ours.
Yeah, and we've reached out to Unison, and that's the issue, that they can't 100% tell us when it went through the machine, if it tabulated it or not. And so in an effort to make sure every single vote in Page County counts, we want to make sure that we've done that. And, you know, some people would say, well, it's only 7 votes, potentially it's not. But for us, if it's your vote, it's the biggest priority in Page County. So that's where we stood with that. And we just wanted to get out in front of it. I feel like potentially there's going to be other counties that choose to do this too. In good faith, I try to always tell every citizen, every voter in Page County that when they vote, their vote will count.
Right.
And in an effort to do that, I feel this needed to be done.
Okay.
So,
Well, in the interviews and what's going on, like I've read that this morning, the KMA has their title to their article is Mayor win supervisor race, ... maybe. I mean, that's a very misleading title. I mean, ridiculously misleading. So KMA, if you're listening, I hope you can put every vote counts. We want to count every one of them, but that title is extremely sensationalized. So anyway, well, on that, let's, and those people voted and they don't want to feel like they're muffled. They were muffled what happened.
right,
So,
right.
okay, yeah, that's fine. Let's make sure everyone counts and it's completely right. So I have a motion, a second, a discussion, we'll vote, call for a vote. All those in favor? Aye.
Alan, you're muted.
Oh, he must not be there. He must be doing Zoom.
I got the customer or something. But you got 2-0.
I vote yes. I vote aye.
Three, all right.
Sorry.
Okay, that being said, go forward with the.
All right, thank you guys.
Okay, thank you. Thanks to your.
Thanks,
crew.
Melissa.
And I'll stick around in case anybody has any questions.
Okay, well then we don't have anything else on the
Nope.
agenda, so,
I move to adjourn.
yeah. Before
I'll
we-
second that.
I just hope that the media can get all this we've said today clearly out there, so, all those in favor?
Aye.
You.
Meeting-
Yeah.